Hello Biafrans and lovers of freedom. Welcome to Biafra Battle Cry TV. Watch as everyday Nigerian Northern Janjaweed reacts and speaks against Donald Trump's move to crush terrorists.
Thank you very much. Let me first say that in the 25 years that the Area Consultative Forum has been operating, we have to first of all remember why it was established. At the beginning of the political resurgence in Nigeria in 1999, in the north we have had about 3-4 different organizations, very powerful one, pulling in different directions. So, but to face political time after a longer period of military regime, it was decided that the North should coalesce those organizations into one strong, cohesive mouthpiece for the North. And that's what happened. The people that called that meeting that day asked all those different organizations to melt into ACF. And that's what has been going on for the last 25 years. At the time it was also established, there were a lot of divisions in the North, religious, tribal, ethnic, and one of the biggest, most important task for ACF then was to try and unite and unify those divisions. And I must tell you that we are quite proud to say over the years we have had a lot of, we have recorded a lot of achievements. If you remember those days of Kapanchan, Rai, Tafawa Balewa, are no longer with us anymore. But there are still not too smooth relationships which we are still working on. But one of our greatest achievements is the reduction, in a very serious sense, those conflicts that have been bothering us. Now, afterwards, the resurgence, of course, the appearance of the Boko Haram. It started as a religious problem, but then spread out. It was not then in our own control to safeguard the lives and properties. That's the task of the federal government and the military and the security agencies. But still then, we kept talking to the leaders at all levels so that our people can understand and what to do to reduce such harsh effects that we had been going through. I'm glad, Benny, you mentioned how that had, the last 15 years, had brought our position to this nearly pathetic situation. But we used to be very, very prosperous, outgoing, progressive. We used to be very, very industrious, but factors both that are our own fault in the North and outside influence it had combined to, at a time when we are least capable of pushing back, to further deteriorate what we are doing, what we ought to be doing. So this is where we are now. But we are also using this period and this occasion, this celebration, to remind the people that we are not dancing and shouting and singing. We are reminding people the difficulties that have been besieging our own region, and to ask people to proffer solutions that we have not thought of until now. As to the question of the American threats, I would personally would have thought the federal government of Nigeria would have established first and foremost, say, a judicial commission of inquiry in Nigeria so that it could be investigated. Those who have made those claims would have the opportunity to come and put out their evidence. And those who do not think so can also put the evidence so that the world, an open session, could witness that we are checking ourselves first before we rushed out. I would have also thought that those who had made this complaint had gone to the United Nations instead of the United States of America. We are not a colony of the United States. We do not owe the United States any explanation as to how we run our domestic affairs. What we are doing, however, is to make sure that the world understands the true nature of this conflict. There are so many conflicts in Nigeria. You can easily put a picture and emphasize it. But as to this particular, all of us here, because we are Nigerians, we know that is not true, first. We know also in the last 15 years, the conflict in the Northeast, Boko Haram, is not targeted to Christians, is not targeted to Muslims. These are insurgents who want to make headlines every day. In doing so, they don't care whether they kill a Muslim or a Christian. But they are operating in a predominantly Muslim area, so their victims are predominantly Muslims. Of course, they are Christian, but for an insurgent, he doesn't care whether he kills a Muslim or a Christian. But like the population, obviously, there are more victims that are Muslims than no. Then you move towards the Northwest, which was enjoying quite a peaceful time until this bandits started their operation. Now, we can only propagate to our people how best to protect and safeguard their families, their villages, their communities, while we, at the same time, consistently have been talking to the federal government as to the necessity for them to nip the thing in the bud before it spread. It started like a joke in Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, now Kebbi and Niger is moving. By the time it's now in Katsina, by the time it gets to Kanu, which is next to Jigawa, where I come from, Yobe is quite close. So if government does not take proper, immediate action to stop this, very soon the whole of the northern region is going to be covered with these insurgency. The north central is infested also. And we have always been wondering that the Nigerian military that had fought in Korea, had fought all over the world, has gone to West Africa and sorted them out, had not been able to sort our own problems for 15 years. Now, I understand that there is a difference between an enemy that you can fight face to face and urban guerrilla situation. But we still need to, I think, to put more effort from all of us, but especially from those that are in a position to stop the thing from spreading. And that's what our wishes, our hopes, and I hope that the recent changes in the military leadership is going to provide something that had not been tried before, and that hopefully is going to provide some kind of answer. But the situation is, we have allowed it to spread, we have allowed it to become so intractable that only goodwill and political will and support from every Nigerian will be able to probably provide an answer.
A lot of distortion going on. People claiming that there is no genocide of Christians in the nation. Information with facts can never be thwarted. You see people buried in hundreds and you say there is no genocide. What a wicked set of people. Agreed, there are people killed in other places for other reasons, but this one is very clear, and gradually is eating down to the south, southwest, southeast, and many so-called leaders for their personal interests are claiming it's not true, selling out their faith if they have it at all. Jesus said, when I come, will I find the faith? And we are standing here to say to Jesus, the faith will keep standing. Raise your voice in a few seconds. Father, strengthen the brethren, strengthen the faith,